Okay, so we are ready to do our test print here. Once again, I have a Raspberry Pi hooked up to a solidoodle 3D printer, version 3 with an 8-inch print bed. It is loaded with some Octave filament. It's a clear polyester filament. And I have a Raspberry Pi Model B with a wireless plug, and you can see it's also plugged into my 3D printer. I have the Octoprint print server that I've started here through SSH, and you can see the commands here on SSH. I'm using putty to SSH into the printer. I also have some basic setup instructions here that I had to follow to get the Raspberry Pi with the right software, the right Python scripts, and all of that. And then finally over here we have the Octoprint web interface, the web GUI. You can see I've got my temperature controls up. I've brought my bed up to full temperature, and I've brought my print material up to temperature. I've got a print ready to go, so we're going to go ahead and try a test print here. See, if you look back over here with the controls and the web interface, we have a full set of controls that are kind of grayed out right now because we're actually running a print. And we also have a G-code viewer that gives us kind of a live update layer by layer. Now, when I ran a test print this morning, I actually had the print finish, but the Octoprint software itself kind of crashed, where it was not giving me any kind of feedback from the printer. No temperature controls, no live update, no ETAs. And in order to get it to respond, I had to reboot the Pi and basically reconnect or reestablish the connection all over again. So there's been a few glitches with the Octoprint server software, but for the most part, for being a open source kind of beta project independently developed, it's quite good. And this particular print takes about an hour and a half, so we will check back later when it gets a little bit close to being done, especially if it crashes or pauses or jams or anything like that. But as you can see now, we're just still drawing the first couple layers. Just to get a good idea of what we're printing, I am printing 10 little plastic chains here. You can see them in Repetier hosts. I used Slicer to do the G-code creation, and I typically print from Repetier host. You can see all the layers and everything here. And of course this is Slicer, what I use to originally create the G-code. It's then loaded to the printer through just basic upload system. It also has an upload to SD card if my printer had an onboard SD. It has the capability for onboard SD, but did not come with a card. So we will check back in like an hour or so when we get done, closer to being done printing.